man, that takes a toll, you know. And unfortunately, what I mean, a lot of us haven't received psychiatric help. And a lot of us still need psychiatric help. 'Cause that's trauma.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a lot of trauma.
And pause, real quick to cut you off. I don't think we were live just a second ago, but we are now.
We all live.
Tuning in. We just had some technical difficulties. This is TwoTreys podcast. Getting into some real deep conversation right now.
TwoTreys in the house.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. We'll run back. We just all we've gone over so far, guys, is the honorable mention. We'll probably run it back again towards the end of the show. What topic we're talking about now? Mass shootings. Pops, you want to go ahead and reiterate what you said about what you and the Nation of Islam believe is the cause of this?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we are taught in the nation that before we reach the hereafter, that Allah God will come and clean out the dirty, the wicked from the earth. And a lot of things is going to happen, as far as fatalities. A lot of us are not going to make it, to the hereafter. Health reasons, disease, famine, pestilence, the weather. There are a lot of factors in which a lot of us are going to lose our lives. And this was all foretold. And in Fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he lays out the actual process in which how everything will occur in America. From the start of the American dollar not having any more value, to the dissatisfaction of the population, to inflation, which will cause and create a lot of shortages in food, dissatisfaction in the society as a whole. And once that reaches 100%, there's going to be 100% change. And it's all about the future, man. And you and your nephew here, my grandson, this is what I fight for. This, Hey, this is what I fight for. This is what I got back into the struggle and got back to the nation. To do, man, is you can't just sit back, to sit on social media and just talk about it, type about it. Like, yo, man, we gotta get in the fight. This is we are at war between good and evil. And right now it's gonna seem like the evil is gonna be winning, if the evil is winning, because there's a lot of evil going on than there is good. And things will get better, but we're gonna have to we're gonna have to endure. And to touch on the last thing I want to say about that is, UFOs exist. Woo! That's a surprise. Where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? It's I don't think real people are really taking that seriously, man. But we've been told, like I said, in the nation, since I've been in the nation over 16 years, I've heard about the mother wheel and the baby planes through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and everything that has been said about those planes in the sky, according to the U.S. government. In the beginning it was, they don't exist, or it's just, but you made a movie out. You make TV shows and depict, those who flying these crafts, ugly creatures and scary looking. And I'm not trying to go off the topic of the mass shootings and what's going on, but I'm just trying to tie all of this into each other, man, because this is what has been going on. This is the society that we're living in right now, where things are popping off left and right, and there's so many things at one time focus on or to draw our attention to. You know what I mean? We still got the pestilence. We still got monkeypox. What the heck is that?
Right.
I mean, it's one thing after another. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, unfortunately, it's going to get worse than it gets better. But endure. You have to endure. You got to persevere. Because humanity is not going anywhere. You know what I mean? But who is in charge of the society of this world, that will change. That is in the process of changing, and a lot of people are not going to like the change, but it's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Yeah, and my point to you guys was in regards to the mass shooting. It's sad for me to see that we were so ill prepared coming into reopening the schools and all public places of forum to associate with people and interact, because we this was something we were going through before the pandemic. Times where these mass shootings were the main subject of conversation, and then we had the pandemic take over the topic of conversation on the news and headlines and stuff. And because everything got shut down, well, you can't have a mass shooting with no people.
Right.
So there was no news about it for what I would say almost a year and a half.
Right.
And then now everything's reopening and stuff like that. And my biggest issue is there was no precautions taken towards what was happening before the pandemic till now. So we got COVID, under a little bit of control, I guess, in a sense. But when it comes to the mass shootings, that was something I don't think that they even thought to prepare for. It doesn't seem like they did at all. That you had a year and a half to, put something in place in which you can combat this type of activity taking place, and nothing was done. Gun rights are still it's just as easy and accessible to a gun now as it was then before. Right. And it's crazy to me how easy it is to get a gun. You can get a gun easier than a pack of cigarettes. That issue, I don't know. There should have been something done before opening up these schools, in places of business, places where people come to congregate. In regards to our these mass shootings, this was definitely something that was happening right before the topic of COVID. So it's crazy to me that we just swept it under the rug and thought it was because of COVID and coming back, it was just going to be gone. Like that's one less thing we got to worry about. No, obviously, as we see, it's gonna be something we're gonna have to focus on as well. Like I said earlier before, well, we weren't live at the time, but I was saying that some company came out with bulletproof backpacks, but there's definitely gonna have to be more that's done when it comes to those who are allowed to carry firearms. It's way too easy. It shouldn't be easier than getting a pack of cigarettes, but it is. What you say, Pops?
You said they came out with bulletproof backpacks?
Yeah, for the kids to wear.
Wow.
This is what I'm saying. This is not, that doesn't fix the issue. That's just putting a Band-Aid on a scar that needs stitches.
Right. I mean, after a while, man, if I had this conversation with somebody the other night, and if you've noticed, man, it's getting to the point where we're not going to want to come outside the house. They're not going to want us to come outside the house. They're not wanting us to come outside the house for anything. You know what I mean? Now we got banking online. We got, shopping online, grocery shop. You can get anything and everything delivered to you. You can order it from your living room. and there really is no need to go outside. I mean, gas is crazy, so it's like, you know what I mean. If I go in my car, I best believe I have a destination to go and to come back. Right. There is no more joyriding in your vehicle any longer. You know what I mean? Unless you got it like that, by all means, all praises due. But if not, man, if we're living paycheck to paycheck, we are in trouble. You know what I'm saying? We are in trouble. You know, if we don't get the necessities and the basic foundations of our needs in order. You know, we have a survival kit in the nation, you know what I mean? And thank God for that. You know what I mean? That the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was wise enough, you know what I mean, through the teachings from Master Farad Muhammad, that, you know, he prepared us for this. You know, and a lot of us didn't believe that we would be alive to live through this day. But we're here. You know, we here, and we gotta get ready, man. You know what I mean? This is, you know, they are locking up our leaders. You know, I mentioned this earlier. You know, they found our brother Grandmaster Jay guilty. You know, but we have, you know, rising stars in our midst, in our people. The young brother Marcel Dixon, who's running for Congress in South Carolina, you know, against the elder Clyburn. You know what I mean? Right now, man, it's time for things to really, 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 really evolve. And, you know what I mean? And when, you know, President Barack Obama was in office, you know what I mean, we thought that was the change that we as a people had needed. I'm talking about us as a people, Black Americans. And, you know, hate me for saying this, but that brother didn't do anything for Black America. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, there is two different Americas. Actually, it's all split up between rich, poor, Black, white. I mean, it's all, you know, right now, it's all lines are being divided. And, you know, it's so many lines or so many boxes in those lines. You know what I mean? Well, how many boxes do you fit in? How many boxes do you not? You know what I mean? But we all got to fit in somewhere. You know? And again, this is the battle between good and evil, man. Word.
You said you mentioned Marcel Dixon running for Congress in South Carolina. When is the election? I think it's coming up soon, if I'm not mistaken. I thought we talked about it in the last podcast, actually.
Yeah. It's coming. Let me see.
I think it was on a Monday or Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. So that was
right. Yeah. And I mean, you know, because we don't live in South Carolina, you know, unfortunately, we can't vote.
Oh, but support. Someone does. I said someone does.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And, you know, please, man, you know, support this brother, because he's fighting, he's running on, you know, the reparations card. And, you know, at this point in time, you know, America has done for refugees from Afghanistan, so-called illegal immigrants, you know what I mean, who are just coming back home to their original land. He's provided them over $400,000 per family. And the Asian hate bill, you know what I mean, is intact. It got passed through Congress very fast, very quick. And when it comes down to us finally getting a piece of something, what pisses me off is what makes me upset is a lot of us don't want to claim anything that will be specifically to us. We sort of, some of us sort of want everybody else to be included. Sometimes you gotta put yourself out there as a people and to say, look, we need this, we deserve this, we've earned this, and this is what we demand. No more asking, no more, marching. You know what I mean? It's going to be strictly, from now on, this is what we're doing as a people. This is what we demand as a people. This is what we want as a people. And we're going to get it. It's going to happen for us. You know what I mean? Through hell and fire and brimstone, man. Whether we got to knock down some walls. You know what I mean? Now, we've been taking the peaceful route, civilized, peaceful route, you know what I mean, for over 400 years. You know what I mean? Not one time have us as a whole, you know what I mean, went after anybody that doesn't look like us. You know what I'm saying? We don't have mass shootings of all white people coming from black hands. I mean, unless I've been living under a rock for 42 years. I haven't heard of anybody going inside of a school, shooting up a mall that was black, that targeted all white people. I haven't heard. You know what I mean? So as anybody, man, we have been the less, we have been, the passive people.
Given the circumstances, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? On the circumstances, we haven't taken revenge. We haven't seeked vengeance. All we've been seeking is justice. And we haven't received that yet. You know what I mean? My heart goes out to the families of all those children that were lost, right? But that happened a week after the Buffalo shooting. And we still haven't fully recovered from that as a people. You know what I'm saying? And again, my heart goes out to the people in Texas. But however, my heart especially goes out for the elders that we've lost, those 10 lives of our people that we've lost. And one of them specifically, I had to throw this out there. One of them was a brother. I guess he was a retired police officer. He patented a vehicle that can run on strictly the sun, or was it something? Water, right? Now I don't find those things, to be coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think nothing was done. I think that white supremacist knew. I'm trying to tell you, man. Somebody of that importance doesn't get whacked just like that. You know what I mean? And nobody knows who he is. That brother was making videos, and best believe he was pissing some people off. You know what I mean? Especially those who are in the oil and what have you industry.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was pissing some people off, man. He was really, you know what I mean, about to set a whole new way of resource and being able to travel without using oil. And because he patented it, you know what I mean, hopefully he passed that information and knowledge along to his children, along to his wife. He was married, you know what I mean? But I hope that he had passed that information, that knowledge on to somebody so they can carry that throughout, you know what I mean? And somebody else picks it up and keeps that baton going, man. But we definitely need that. But something like that, you can't ignore. You know what I mean? Did that white supremacist know that former officer was going to be in that grocery store?
I can't say, but what I can say is it's definitely common for mass casualties to be used as a smoke blower
cover up
mission. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? It's better to take out a whole versus just one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that one wouldn't be, oh my God, let's focus on this one particular target.
Yeah,
this one person.
The motive is not as clear. Yeah.
Right. You know, and it strikes me. I mean, you're too young to remember when 9/11 first happened. Other than those two twin towers, excuse me. Other than the twin towers,
Bless you.
Other than the twin towers that fell, there was a third building. There was a third building that fell. No plane hit it. No, nothing hit it. But a third building has fallen in New York City. What was in that building? Nobody still, nobody knows. You know what I mean? But there was a third building that fell. Now, could that have been the smoke screen? Could that have been a smoke screen for because everybody looking at the Twin Towers, right?
All right.
And they fall. Oh my gosh, these tall buildings just fell. But at the same time, this little one over here crumbled. What's the main focus? The Twin Towers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
The Twin Towers. You know what I mean? So and we can't keep saying that we're conspiracy theorists. I can't stand that phrase no more. You know what I mean? Because we were called conspiracy theorists when we were talking about the baby planes and the mother wheel. Now all of a sudden, the U.S. government confirms, because everybody is always on the assumption, always on the mindset of if the government says it's real, then it's believable, right? Well, there was a black man who's been teaching about this for over 90 years, and everybody called him crazy. Everybody called him, unbelievable. But now all of a sudden he told the truth. Everybody, it's revealed that it's true. You know what I'm saying? So, all those people who try to, pin the conspiracy theorists, title on others, y'all need to wake up. Y'all live in a lie state. You know what I mean? Y'all really trusting this government as if it has a track record of telling the truth. You know what I mean? And one thing, when you go to court, the first thing that the judge will ask for is your background. Well, let me look at your background for a second. Hold on. Before you even say a word, let me pull up your driving record. Right? And he looks at it. and he determines from there, or she determines from there, based off of your reputation and your record, you are more than likely to repeat the same offense. So as a people, who's been telling more lies than truth to the majority? As a people, I mean, come on, man. I'm going on in the rant, man.
No. I actually want you to stay right there, Pastor. You were mentioning court. I want you to speak a little bit more on the verdict with Grandmaster Jay. You've been speaking about him on the show a couple times.
Right.
I think you're actually wearing the shirt right now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. In support. You know what I mean? I'm not a member of the NFAC, so let me just get that. You know what I mean? That disclaimer out there. All right. I'm not a registered member of the NFAC. I'm a registered member of the Nation of Islam, which makes me an FOI. Okay. However, I supported this brother and this organization, not to the point of carrying guns. Okay. Because here in the nation, we don't carry any weapons. And that was prescribed to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. However, Minister Farrakhan said out of his own mouth that we going to need all hands on deck. That we need to unite and not all of our people are in the nation that we need to unite with. So here comes a brother who is organized, who is doing things by the book and have done things by the book, who organize other black men and other black women. Okay? It wasn't just an all man thing. It was both men and women. Okay? Like-minded, who wants the liberation for black people. That was his goal. He actually threw the fire at the Ahmaud Arbery situation. And without him, in fact, going into Brunswick, Georgia, that situation would have been brushed under the rug like it was for the time period that it occurred. So what happened was, I don't want to go too much into the case because we still don't know all of the details specifically. The only thing that I will say is they had to have got this man off of the scene. If you do your research, the COINTELPRO counterintelligence program was designed not specifically, but designed to seek out the Black Messiah. Okay? And anyone who steps out there and tries to fight for black people in America and abroad, but black people in America first, several things is going to occur. And the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan can attest to this. They're going to talk bad about you. They're going to try to defame your character. They're going to attempt to assassinate you. And they're going to try to use whatever legal measures that they can to put you falsely in prison. All right? The mistake, I wouldn't say it was a mistake, but the only thing that they was able to get on Grandmaster Jay was that he pointed a firearm at law enforcement on a dark day in Louisville at night, where he didn't know what was going on, what. But they said that he pointed a gun at law enforcement. So his trial, he went through trial. The verdict came out on 2 counts. He was found guilty of his peers, so-called. It wasn't a mistake that there was only one black juror on that jury. That's it. One black juror. All right. I don't think that's his peers. You know what I mean? So let's not forget that. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, they found him guilty. You know what I mean? Right now, they haven't released him. His sentencing is August the 22nd. And he is facing up to 20 years. Now, one thing I remember Minister Farrakhan saying was that they will be coming for him, right? And when they do, what are we going to do as a people? Because if they came for Grandmaster Jay and he didn't do nothing wrong, he didn't hurt anybody, shoot anybody, threaten anybody, okay? If they came after him and got him off of the scene, and he was a gun-carrying citizen, it ain't too far-fetched for them to come after non-gun-carrying citizens. And who do you think that target will be? You know what I mean?
Right.
Whenever, like I said, man, it shouldn't, they use fear. I mean, I could go back to the plantation when They used to take, how do they input fear into those former slaves? By taking the strongest one, by taking the most boldest one, the one who had all of the mouth, the one who asked questions, the one who challenged master. They took that one and they made an example out of it. Okay? Whether they beat him to death, tortured them to death, you know what I mean, or tortured him just enough that he wanted to die. All because he stood up, he challenged the masters. And this is what's going on now. It has not changed. You know what I'm saying? When are we going to finally say as a people that what happened back then is happening now, but what we're doing as a people hasn't changed either? Because what we're doing now would have been the same thing what we've been doing back then. Nothing. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it's the mindset, right? My generation up, your generation down, it ain't gonna be that same mentality. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna be that same mentality. Right now, you know, the youth is expressing themselves as being non-fearful and being challenging. You know what I mean? The powers that be. You know what I'm saying? Say, hey, what Trey? You know what I mean? So again, man, I'm saddened by the verdict, but this just motivates me and inspires me even more to get into this fight of liberating our people, of establishing our own. You know what I'm saying? I heard that there was another shooting of an unarmed black woman who was pregnant. Okay? Now, what are we going to do about that? You know what I mean? What are we going to do about that? You know what I mean? I don't know all the details, all the facts of the matter and all that. I seen it come across my Facebook page, and what the heck is that? What do you mean? There's an unarmed black woman who is pregnant, was shot almost 5 times. Come on, man. But now they're going after our women. I mean, that's one thing that, you know, I always tell you as a young boy who has sisters, I got daughters, man, you protect your sisters no matter what. Okay? Protect your sisters no matter, protect women, black women no matter what. All right? And come on, man, you know. I'm lost for words, man, but they found our brother guilty. Like I said, his sentencing is August the 22nd, and I'm supporting in fact. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you remember, when we were on the phone with Sophia Stewart one time. Mm-hmm. I forgot which conversation it was. You brought up Grandmaster Jay, showed her a picture. You remember what she said?
Yeah, to finish Son Trey's statement, Sophia Stewart immediately saw a picture.
Hey, Pops, you want to retract what you just said? I'm sorry.
Nah, go ahead. You was I know what you was going to say.
Yeah. So I was saying we had spoken to Sophia Stewart on one of those conversations. You had showed her the image of Grandmaster Jay, right. And I was just asking if you remember what she had said on the matter. Well, yeah, showed her an image of him.
Yes, the first time she saw him, the very first thing she said was, "Oh, that's Malcolm." That's Malcolm X. You know what I mean? And before she even heard Grandmaster Jay speak, that's Malcolm X reincarnated. You know what I mean? Because once the spirit goes into that body, it takes form and shape. You know what I mean?
Word. It's like a play essentially, right? And in a play, the character's already picked. What I mean by that, like who they are as a character, like you have in a sense that the character is supposed to act out this role.
Right.
So in a play, every time you do the play, it doesn't have to be the same individual acting out the role.
Right.
But the role must still be played. So like, you alluded to him being almost like a messiah figure. It's not so much that in the name Jesus. It's more the actions. Yes, sir.
That's facts, man. You know, it's a it's a characteristic, right? You're my son, so there are going to be things or mannerisms that you display to those who've known me for many of years, and say that's something your dad would say, or that's something your dad would do, or you're doing the same thing your dad would do, or he has done, right? And you just think it's just something that you ordinarily just naturally do. You know what I mean?
Right.
But little do you know that, you know, you are an extension of myself. So there are going to be things that you're going to do and say that you don't think, you know, how it came about, but it is all related to myself. Your nephew will do things, you know, naturally, but it will always also resemble something in which, you know, his father does, which you know, connects to me. You know what I'm saying? So he would do something that you would do, because we are all connected in that way. Okay? So when that happens, the manifestations of our actions and our thought will be nothing new. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So Grandmaster Jay coming on the scene and resembling or sounding like another Malcolm, that's just an extension of Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? Grandmaster Jay isn't the biological son of Malcolm, but the spirit of Malcolm has entered into Grandmaster Jay. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And then, you know, that's how, you know, you can really describe it and compare it. You know what I mean? You know, there's a lot of naysayers out there, because there's always naysayers. There's always people that's opposed to somebody stepping out there and risking his life and freedom for the liberation of our people. And before he got, you know, this BS charges put on him, you know, there was a few of us that's in the woke world going against him, calling him an agent, talking about he worked for Trump, you know what I mean? Just assassinating this man's character and not having facts to back anything of those accusations. You know what I'm saying? And when things like that occur, then for the government to see it, they can say, you know what? We can use that individual as a counterpart. Okay? Just like they use Malcolm as a counterpart to Martin. All right? Because they're always going to use us to go against ourselves and our best interests. Because if they can find, let's just imagine if all of us got on one accord and looked at everything as a family, look at all of us as a family. And as a family, you don't allow nobody from the outside to harm or hurt anybody in your family, regardless of if you and I have a beef. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As father and son, I will not let nobody outside of my family put their hands on you. Okay? There was a situation with a relative who assumed that I would have done something like that towards him. And that, to me, that's an insult on my character. You know what I mean? To think that I would stoop so low to get somebody from the outside of family to come in and take care of somebody who's been in my life all my life. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. That's crazy. You know what I mean? And I don't think crazy, and I don't think I'm ridiculous. You know what I mean? So when we get to that point, it don't matter whether we agree with that person, that's our brother. Nobody from the outside of that family can talk about our brother and get away with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
They can't lock up our brother over some bull crap, and then you don't lock up your own people who've done worse. This dude, Kyle Rittenhouse, killed people, right? Killed people and didn't see no jail time, right? Grandmaster Jay was accused of pointing his gun at law enforcement on a rooftop. And you lock this man up? And damn, they're going to give him 20 years, possibly? Come on, man. And as a people, we shouldn't even let that happen. The same way we wouldn't let anything happen to our own relative, we shouldn't allow that to happen to this brother, to our brother, as a people. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, we always take that passive, sit back approach to situations in which we see is done wrong to us. But none of us is going to stand up and say, yo, hold on, man, as a whole, stop doing this to our man. Stop doing this to our brother. Stop doing this to our sister. This is not going to happen. We're not going to allow you to get away with this no more. You know what I mean? And it angers me, man, because I'm tired of us always going against ourselves. Why do we always got to go against ourselves in public? Now, if you want to do it privately, that's all right. Privately is where it's supposed to be done.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's how the resolution of any situation can be resolved. Internally, privately. Should nobody from the outside have any influence, have any knowledge about anything going on inside a family, inside of somebody's home? You know what I'm saying? That's off limits, man. That's off limits. I'm tired of that crap, man. I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? And it stops now. Because if you're not on the same team with Black America, then get off of the daggone boat. Period. Jump off the boat, man. And go swim back over there to those former slave masters. Period. I don't care what anybody says. In this family, we don't go against our family, man. And we don't leave our brother behind and in the hands of our former slave master. And our former, come on, man. It's a new day and age now. You know what I'm saying? Whether you agree with the gun carrying, you know what I mean, individual or not. You know what I'm saying? He carried the guns, but he wasn't out there pointing it at other people, attempting to take lives. He wasn't doing it on a reckless note. You know what I'm saying? I don't choose to carry a gun, but daggone, I still want the liberation for my people. And I do know that's going to take more than just, you know what I mean, organizing and mobilizing non-carrying weapon citizens. That is going to take an army of all of us. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's going to take all of us to bring us to the point where we need to be, not to the point where we're comfortable at being.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to start moving in a way that the only moves that we take are power moves, and any other move is not a move that we take. I think we've really fallen off on like exactly what this is. That we, I think because we live in a democracy or have you be it, we think that you know, being nice, being courteous to everyone is gonna get us where we want to be, and that's just being ignorant to the truth of the matter that we live in a world of power, and it's a game, and to think that not playing the game separates you from the game, that's false, and you're just ruining yourself. We've been ruining ourselves, not actively participating in this power game that everyone else participates in, and we wonder why we're so miserable. And so help us. Well, it's because we have no power, because we're unwilling to play the game, to learn from it, to fail sometimes. But you know what I'm saying?
Well, we do have power, son.
Yeah, but we're pretending like we don't. We're not using it. Right. We're not moving in a way that speaks to the fact that we have power. We move in a way that it's so crazy to me, because it's and you see it. It's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not coming from a place of arrogance or anything like that, but just a sense of when you move in a way in which you're coming across to the world as if you are helpless prey. You have no room to make any agreements, any demands, like you like put it, and that's the complete opposite of someone that's in a place of power, a group of people that are in a place of power, or a person in a place of power. You make demands, and those demands are always given to you, because you know what I'm saying, you're coming from that place. We're over here asking and begging for those in which we see have power, yet not knowing that we have our own. So we're getting taken advantage of every time we come to the table to make a deal, expecting a fair deal, but you're not coming to the deal with any power. Where's our stronghold against them? We're playing with no cards. It's crazy to me. So yeah, like I said, like, we just need to get in the game of making power moves, and over acquiring power, we're gonna gain that confidence. We're gonna gain the social status that we need. Everything that we're gonna need, we're gonna be able to give to ourselves. But we have to be willing and to understand that this world is a game of power. Yes, we live in a democracy, so there's no kings and queens anymore. But that doesn't mean that the levels of being and living aren't still in place. Well, it's literally a choice. We need to learn to play the game, learn it as best as we can, and compete at a higher rate, or just at the same rate as everyone else. Like, we're in the game, don't get me wrong, but we're not playing to win.
Nah, you know, and one thing you mentioned, son, was that we're in a democracy, and you know, the definition of democracy is government ruled by the people, and unfortunately, we're not the people that's running this government.
Exactly.
We're not the people that's making the rules. We are the people that's getting the injustices put upon us. So we're not part of the you know, the law making, you know, body that sits in those seats. You know what I'm saying? There's not any of us Black American who has roots through slavery in those seats making rules for the majority of us specifically. You know what I'm saying? We're not there. We don't have those seats. We're not in those meetings. So what people are ruling this government? And it's not, come on, man. It's not ruled by the variety of people. It's ruled by just one people. Period. That's the truth. That's the truth. And one thing you got to ask yourself after you realize that it's only ruled by one people, what type of heart do they have? It's always, you always gotta I tell you this. You always gotta look at a person's heart. And you can determine from their actions, are they good or are they evil? And there is no in between. You know what I mean? There is no in between. You know what I mean? Back in the day, there's a cartoon, whether it's Bugs Bunny or Popeye, something that used to come on, and they would have an angel on one side and a devil on the other side, right? And they had two choices. Do I want to do the good thing, righteous thing, or do I want to do the evil thing? You know what I mean? And whatever you decided to do is either going to be one or the other, right? But how it impacts others will determine whether it's evil or if it's good. Now, everything that has been deciding, according to black people in America, has been done evil. That was the choice that has been made to do upon black people in America. Evil. All right. Now, we could go into the whole, we do evil with each other. Yes, everybody does too. White people kill white people. Hispanic people kill Hispanic people. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? That goes on. That has been going on. But what's going on more, and what has going on for the past several hundred years, is that we're getting slaughtered by other people as well as our own. And again, we can handle our own personal issues internally, privately, all right? But we can't battle the internal issue and battle the outside issue as well. Okay.
Right. I mean, me and you can speak on that. Just being transparent, like, there was a time we weren't on good terms. We weren't talking for a minute. I think it would have been completely absurd before us having that conversation that we had to do this podcast. You know what I'm saying? That probably would never have happened. We had to have that private conversation, and we had it. We hashed it out. We're good. Now that opened up, the possibility to do this podcast.
Right.
And so to be able to do these great things that it's a good example. These great things me and you have been able to do over this time, since February, we had to have that heart-to-heart conversation with each other. There was in that conversation, there was no ill will and intent towards one another. It was just coming to a common understanding. That's all we both wanted. So it was super easy to get to.
Right.
So, yeah.
But it didn't take somebody from the outside.
Exactly. It was just me and you. Yeah.
But again, it's when you don't look at the other person as the person who does things, feel like this. If I don't have a reputation of doing something of evil and of ill will, then to immediately assume that there's an action that's been done that offends you, to immediately assume the worst of that person and totally forget that this person doesn't have the reputation of doing this sort of act, then what goes on inside of you is actually your perception of what's going on, what other people are trying to do. We project things on others that is actually wrong with us, or that's actually something that we do. You know what I mean? My student minister, Tracy Muhammad, in Richmond, Virginia, in Mosque 24, spoke on the projection of a thief will assume that people are stealing from him because he's a thief. You understand? Somebody who lies will always think somebody's lying to them. Somebody who is a cheater will always think and assume that somebody's cheating on them. So what we project on others is actually something that we are doing ourselves, or it's something that we are already are by nature. You know what I mean? And it's a mental thing.
Something, yeah, like you said, something the thing that we're projecting on others is the very thing that we hate in ourselves. Yeah.
Right.
And I know people have seen it. So like, if you're ever caught in a situation, someone's accusing you of something that you didn't do, most likely is they're the one that did it.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? And for some odd reason, when the government of the United States are painting a picture of somebody else, you best believe, man, they are actually telling us this is what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't buy into the whole Putin is the enemy. All right? Because they paint us as the enemy. They paint us as violent, hedonistic, as a black man. Right? White women used to clutch their purses and, lock their doors whenever we walk by. Since when we get the bad rap of being violent, when it was actually violence put upon us? And not one time have we taken vengeance against white men. And I'm going to be specifically plain. White males have been the terrorists and murderers of black men and women for over several hundred years since the creation, the beginning of America. Plain and simple. And that has not changed. That has not gotten better. That has not evolved. It's still the same. It's still the same. You know what I mean? It goes, yo, man. We are. I know that, what's up there in the sky, I already know exists. I know. I seen it. Okay? I seen it with my own 2 eyes. Okay? And I have a witness who was with me that can vouch for my sight because they saw the same thing. All right? So I know. I did believe at one point, but now I know. All right? And that just confirmed with me that everything that I've read from the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, now through the words from Minister Farrakhan about the mother wheel and the baby planes, is real. It's actual fact, man. And who is flying those baby planes and who is in control of that mother wheel is our people, working on a higher intelligence in which we haven't, been able to tap into because of our diet and all other types of factors that's suppressing us. Okay? But I know now. I know for a fact. And especially when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave his encounter of going on to the mother wheel and hearing the voice of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tell him, I want you to tell the world that the U.S. president is going to war with the Islamic country. Matter of fact, he told him, I want you to hold a press conference. And you put that on and be on TV and in the public eye. And I don't care what they say about what you're going to tell them, but you tell them you got it from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on the mother wheel. Those were his exact words. Okay? And from that point forward, oh man, he's crazy. He's out of his mind. But now what are you saying? Back in 1984 was this press conference taking place. Okay? About the mother wheel. So if he was talking the truth then, what makes you think he ain't talking the truth now? Because they now confirmed it? So now we gotta go back, all the way back to 1984, 85, and rehash or listen to everything that he said about these baby planes that's flying around that people are seeing in the mother wheel. But what's funny is how the government or the movie industry will depict those who are in control of the mother wheel and these baby planes as an alien, scary looking creature. Why would they depict those who are flying these objects in the sky to be scary looking?
To be feared.
What was the point of, I mean, when you allow somebody to portray or perceive something or put a painting in your face, you're only seeing what they etched out themselves and they presented it to you. But that doesn't mean they etched out the truth. They etched out their own perception. Because possibly, let's take for instance, they ascend from the sky onto the earth, onto land, because they're already in the earth, but they ascend to the land. What do you think the majority of us are going to do?
Run it all the way. And look, another point they like to make is that when this happens, this is finally the time that the whole world set aside its differences and comes to one human race to defeat the alien invader.
But that's the point. It's not. Yeah. It's not. They're not invading. They already been here.
Word.
But what you
there's a lot of. I heard this theory actually that they might be the what they called in the Bible the pre-Adamites. So you had Adam and Eve were said to be the first humans. Cain kills Abel. Cain goes to a foreign land and meets other people. Who are these other people? The pre-Adamites. What happened to them? They say that they went to the stars.
Right.
So they were just saying, at that they were older than Adam and Eve,
Right. And so I mean, basically what my point of bringing all of this up is when we are continuing to allow people who have not been truthful to us tell us the characteristics of others. Please don't buy into it. You know what I mean? Do your own research. You know what I mean? The great Muhammad Ali refused to go to war, the Vietnam War, because he said something very simple and plain. The Viet Cong never called me nigga. So why do I have a beef with those Asians over there when the only person who's been doing me harm and doing my people harm and cruelty and showing us cruelty are the people right here in America? So again, the U.S. government created a branch of the military called the Space Force. And if you go back and listen to Pence's press conference when he was introducing the Space Force, something very, very significant is what he said. We are creating this branch to combat the forces of a threat in the sky, in space. What threatened you? What message did you receive that you had to have taken as a threat? Because a threat means I messaged you. I said something to you. I wrote something down and presented it to you, or I showed you something. Right? Other than that, how can you take anything as a threat? Is it because of the existence you are taken as a threat? Just the existence? Well, that sounds like us. They taking our existence as a threat. Why? Well, maybe because they think that we will do to them that they did to us. That's why they don't want us to have unity. The Elijah Muhammad said, our unity will be more powerful than an atomic bomb. He didn't say the unity of everybody that's a registered member of the Nation of Islam. He didn't say that specifically. He said black people. We are all in the tribe. We are tribal people. We were tribal back in the motherland, and we're tribal here. We have a church tribe. We have a more science temple tribe. We have the Nation of Islam tribe. We have the Baptist Church tribe. We have the Masonic Lodge tribe. We have the Hebrew Light tribe. We have the Infact tribe. We have the Black Panther tribe. So we are always been a tribal people. But we are part of one organized unit, working for the betterment and the liberation of black people. We are an organization. Key word in that word is the word organs. Our body consists of many different organs, all working for one common cause: life. Life. Every part of this body that makes up this body has a very important role to play. Without certain parts making their job known, it's going to affect other parts. Something may not function properly. You know what I'm saying? All these organs operating for one cause: life. Now, due to our organizations, we should be all working for one cause: sustaining the life of our people. Am I right, Legend? You know what I mean?
Hey, Pops, before we get out of here, I want to backtrack to who our honorable mention was. I don't think we were live at the time. So if you want to go ahead and reread that, I'll get the picture pulled up, and we can get head out of here for the day.
All right. Stephen Smith. I'm going to pull him up. Yeah, man. It's a lot be going on, man. I know we haven't touched on a lot of things, other than, this UFO thing and Grandmaster J thing and the shootings, but there's a lot of other stuff been going on too, man.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch on some other things that have happened in future shows. Yeah, we've been out of here for a minute. I know you had the show in Vegas. How was that, Pops?
Well, I had a big 3 tryout in Las Vegas.
What is that for those who out there who don't know what that is?
The Big 3 is the basketball league that Ice Cube is owner of. And they had tryouts for not just the players, but also for basketball officials. And in that particular tryout, I got to meet and referee top athletes and be in front of Hall of Fame legends. You know what I mean? From Dr. J to Charles Oakley to Michael Cooper, Rick Mahorn. I have pictures with all of those individuals, and all those legends have been who I grew up with, as far as watching on TV. You know what I mean? And it was very special, man. And I will never forget that. Never forget that experience. But thank you for mentioning that, man. Appreciate it.
No, absolutely, Pops. And when you showed me that Dr. J, I told you when I saw Dr. J, I just was like, whoa. Yeah. MJ before that was
think
MJ.
about it, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's MJ's hero. Like, you know what I mean? MJ, Michael Jordan, that's what we talk about, Michael Jordan, you know, pretty much patenting his game after Dr. J.
Word.
You know what I mean?
All right, Pops. I got that picture pulled up for us. You want to go ahead and let me know who that is?
Stephen Smith. All right, not to get confused with the other Stephen Smith with the A in the middle. We're not talking about the Agent Man. Pardon me, but Stephen Smith. You got a picture up?
Should be pulling up any second now.
All right. Stephen Smith is a very not somebody who, you know, was in the history books as far as in school. I've never learned about Stephen Smith. So every time we do this honorable mention thing, you know what I mean, I always, you know, want to choose and select somebody who I've never heard of before. You know what I mean? And everything is done for a reason. You know what I mean? It's reasons why we haven't heard a lot about our own people. And that is because we will be motivated and inspired by them to repeat something that they've done, which is great. You know? But right now, it's all about being an entrepreneur, being your own boss, creating your own job, developing skills in which, you know, you haven't had the time to develop. It's time to develop and level up, man. Whatever it is that you don't know how to do, learn how to do it. Because there is no excuse not to learn. Because you can always get your phone out and just Google it and go put it on YouTube and learn. You know what I mean? So there is no excuse, man. So whenever you get that picture up, man, I'm gonna start reading about our brother Stephen Smith.
Gotcha. Waiting on this slow computer, I'll tell you that.
Take your time, man.
I got it done. Let's see.
I don't want to waste any more time. Let me go ahead and just start it, and then if he happens to fall in, then that's cool.
Word.
When Stephen Smith turned 21, he borrowed $50 to purchase his freedom and married Harriet Lee, who worked as a servant in someone's home. He then went into business for himself in Colombia, putting into practice what he learned about the lumber business from his owner. In the next several years, Stephen Smith expanded his business holdings to include real estate and stock in the Columbia Bank and Bridge Company, which was responsible for constructing a major bridge across the Susquehanna River. As the largest stockholder, he was entitled to be the president of the company, but was prevented from assuming this position because he was black. Ain't that a surprise? During his lifetime, Smith was recognized as the richest black man in America. Some people didn't like that, and we can imagine who. During his lifetime, Smith was recognized as the richest man in America. In 1834, he was the target of a white mob that vandalized his office. You don't say. Demanded that he sells his business assets and attack black people living in Colombia. Nothing new. After initially putting his business holdings up for sale, Stephen Smith retracted his offer when no one came forward to purchase them. By 1840, Smith acquired a business partner named William Whipper, who was also black. He started to sell coal and moved to Philadelphia, where he established the eastern location of their joint business. They owned 22 rail cars that carried lumber throughout Pennsylvania, which had secret compartments that were also used to move fugitive enslaved people at great risk to everyone involved. Stephen Smith wasn't just an entrepreneur. He wasn't just all about his business. Stephen Smith was trying to save and did save other black people. And it didn't matter, you know, where they were in their religious practices, how old they were, you know, whether they were married, whether he didn't care. They were black and they were being oppressed by white folks. And he did something to help save a lot of our people. And for that, we salute you, Stephen Smith, a true pioneer.
Sir. And I got the image pulled up for us. I'll give us just a couple more seconds to look at him. But that is an image of Stephen Smith right here. All right.
Absolutely. Salute.
With that being said, we hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far. This has been episode 27. If you guys have been
please
enjoying
hit
the
the
show,
like, share.
Yes, sir.
Come on. You know what I mean?
Like, share, subscribe to the show if you haven't already. Please leave a comment during the show as well. We love to have high engagement. Love to interact with you guys during the show. And even if you leave a comment after the show has been pre-recorded, we'll definitely get back to it. Also, we have a donations tab. If you want to donate to the show as well, show your support that way. Just hit the description box below and there will be a link to our PayPal account for the show. All proceeds will be going to making the show even better for you guys. Anything else you want to add, Pops, before we get out of here?
Support our people. As a people, let's support our people. You know what I mean? Whether we agree with their actions or how they do things, let's not bash each other in public, man. Let's stop that. You know what I mean? To me, that's coonery. You know what I mean? That's bully coons. You know, Dr. Wesley Muhammad phrased the bully coon. When you only, you know, talk crap about your own people, but you don't do nothing to other people. You know what I mean? Zimmerman is still walking around free. Let's not forget that. But that's all.
All right, Pops. Well, it's been a great episode with you. We had a little break. We took a little month off, you know, but it was all good.
Let's say bye-bye.
Shout out to Legend.
This is Legend.
My nephew we got here on the show today.
Peace.
Legend, can you put up a 2 and a 3?
Peace.
For TwoTreys.
Peace. Yeah. TwoTreys.
Yeah.
This is the future,
all
man.
Right, Pops. Word.
Love you, son.
You and Legend, what y'all doing today?
Oh man, we hanging out, man. We gonna serve some nutrition. We at the shop right now. You know what I mean? We're gonna serve some nutrition to some customers and make some people healthy. You know what I mean?
Word.
Ain't it right? Say bye, Uncle Trey. Say goodbye, Uncle Trey. Say bye, Uncle Trey. Roll a kiss.
To you too, Legend. Love you, buddy.
Love you, son.
Love you too, Pops. All right, well, alaikum salam. Y'all have a beautiful and blessed day out there. Again, this has been another episode of TwoTreys Podcast. Stay tuned for another episode, and we'll be right back at y'all, all right?
Peace and love.
Yes, sir.